in the white.
Feel free. We'd like to invite you to move forward.
Tell everybody to feel free to move forward because we're about to start in 5 minutes.
For everyone who's staying for the schools track, we invite you to move forward for the next presentation. We're going to start in just a couple minutes. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Welcome. We do have some handouts up front if you guys want to grab those, or towards the end. My name is Kristen. I'm from Bent on Learning. I'm the program director. We're a nonprofit bringing yoga and mindfulness into New York City public schools. We've been around since 2000. We have, and we've served about 20,000 students in the last 15 years. And this is our second year at the National Kids Yoga Conference presenting with these amazing teenagers. And we know that the kids we teach and the students we serve are our best teachers. So we thought we'd turn over a session to them and hear more about their experiences with their yoga class. And with that, I'll let Marissa introduce herself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Marissa Lipovsky. I am a teacher at Northside Charter High School, which is where we all come from. I have been teaching there. This is my 7th year teaching at Northside. 4 of those years were spent teaching math, and 3, yay, math. Anyone? Yeah, all right. I do love math. Sometimes we talk about the angles in our triangle pose, but that's about and the last 3 of those years have been spent teaching a class called Mindful Movement, which incorporates yoga and mindfulness. And even though I've been offered to go back to my old position teaching math just about every year, I have to kindly deny that because I really just love teaching yoga. So I taught all of these fine young ladies and gentlemen 2 years ago, when yoga was new at the school, and they were all, I think, a little bit skeptical about what was going on, what was going to happen. And then they had a year off, and then they all decided that for their senior year of high school, that instead of going home at 1 o'clock, which seniors can do their senior year, that they would stay until 3 o'clock to take mindful movement, which I'm just like so honored to have them back in my class, and it's awesome. Yeah, that's it. So we're kind of turning it over to them. All of the things that they're going to be presenting today are their favorite things that we do in class, and they'll explain a little bit about why they like it, and so you can sort of take their own best practices back wherever you're going.
Hi, hello. My name is Puchendi, and I've been taking Mr. Pausi's class at my high school for 3 years now, and yoga has helped me greatly throughout generally any part of my life, and this is my first time being here, so hopefully you guys take something from this.
Hello, for those who don't know me, my name is Nicholas Roy. I was here last year. It's an honor to be here again, and I hope that we can have fun.
Hi, I'm Cody Richardson, and this is my second time being here. 3rd year taking yoga with Mr. Popsky, and I really love it. I hope you guys can learn something from this and take it back.
Hi, I'm Kayla Gonzalez. It is my first time here and my second time taking yoga with Ms. Lepowski. I'm excited and honored to be here, and I hope this lesson is useful for you and you can take something out of it.
Hello everybody, my name is Yvel Manuel. I've been here last year, and I'm enjoyed to be here with you guys again, and I hope you guys have fun with us today. So the first thing we're gonna do is a listening exercise. So I'm gonna ring the chimes 3 times, and every time when you don't hear the chimes no more, you just raise your hand. And at the end, we're just gonna listen to our surroundings, and after we're gonna speak about it at the end. I like this exercise because every day, we focus on like different stuff throughout the day. But now, if you just listen to the chimes, you're only focusing on one thing, and that's like something we don't actually do on a regular. So this is why I enjoy this. So now I'm gonna ring it once, and when you don't hear it no more, just raise your hand. One last time. Okay, now we're gonna spend 1 minute just being silent. You could close your eyes, or you could gaze at a point throughout the room and just listen to your surroundings. Do we have any volunteers to say what they heard? Your breath, okay. Alrighty, that's nice. Yeah. I heard that too. So I'm gonna pass it now to my friend Kayla, and she's going to speak about hers.
Now we will be doing a fire exercise. We usually use this in the beginning of our class before we start off because this sets a positive tone for the classroom. The fire exercise, so we're going to imagine there's a fire right here. We're going to throw in something negative about ourselves, like hatred or anger, and we're going to take in something positive, like compassion, understanding, and patience. So I'm going to throw in procrastination and take out determination and control. Any volunteers?
I'll throw in hatred, and I'll take out love.
Anybody else?
So we've asked each of the students just to share a little bit more about how yoga's had an impact on their lives, and also the moment they knew that yoga was a practice they could take with them throughout their lives. So we're going to start again with Prachendi.
All right, so yoga generally has impacted me throughout my entire high school year, but two ways it has impacted me was this one time. It was my first time playing soccer in the team. It was my first game, and I was extremely nervous. I did not know what to do. I was just scared. And before the game started, I just decided to take a deep breath and had try to get a sense of composure and just focus. And after that, I just did what I had to do, and I played well. And this other time, there was this art gallery opening, and my artwork was being presented, and I had to sort of come up with ways to just be persuasive so that the buyer would buy my artwork. And I was pretty nervous. I wasn't sure what I was gonna say, but I did a couple twists because my stomach was really not so good. So, but it helped me really well. So, did a couple twists, and yeah, I did what I had to do, and everything came out to be fine. So those are the ways yoga has impacted my life.
My story is kind of similar to Chandi's. Sports, right? So I was on the basketball team for the last 3 years of my high school. But this year was very important to me. It was one game where my team was down by 5 or 6 points with only a couple of minutes left in the last quarter. My whole team, they were looking down, depressed, as if they already lost. But me, during the timeout, I took a deep breath in and out, and I was just in the zone. A couple minutes into the game, I hit 2 threes back to back, and then I got fouled afterwards and made my free throws, and I won us the game.
So my story is that yoga really changed my life for the better because I grew up with a bad attitude and a really bad temper, really. And when I first got the yoga class, I was mad. I didn't want it. And when I actually started doing some of the poses and she taught me a breathing technique of my own, it just helped me to understand people better. It calmed me down quicker. And now I just put myself in people's situations and their shoes, and it just helps me understand them, and it changed my life for the better, really.
The first time I was given yoga, I wasn't really open-minded to taking the class. I tried transferring out, but that wasn't an option. So I had to give yoga a chance. So I gave it a chance and it turned out to be really useful to me. I'm really grateful now that I have a period when I can just focus on myself, center myself, and be aware of my surroundings. One particular moment that yoga has helped me is when Regents time came around and there was this one Regents that I'm not so good in the subjects. I was nervous, I was shaking. So I did a couple breathing exercises even after the test was right in front of me. And I calmed myself down and I just told myself like I could do this. And I ended up passing it, so I'm really grateful.
The moment I knew that yoga was important in my life was last year, junior year. I didn't have yoga as a class last year because I had too much advanced classes and it wasn't fitting in my schedule. So that was one time I knew that I didn't need a yoga class to do yoga. It was very stressful for me. Oh, sorry. It was very stressful for me because I had college essays, SATs, letters of recommendation. I was also in the art gallery with my friend Pachendi. And all the stuff, like, it was overwhelming. I had to do a lot of work, stay after school. So every time, like, I felt stressed out and didn't know what to do, I just did breathing exercises when I got home and I was a little sleepy. I did sun salutes before I fell asleep, and it helped me. And I found out, like, with the class and even without the class, I could still do yoga.
So now we are each gonna teach one of our favorite poses. So I'm just gonna ask you to help us move some chairs so anybody that wants to participate with us can up here. We're just gonna move the front row. So if you want to participate with us, you can come to the front right here.
So if you don't mind, if you're in the front row, would you like take a seat? Easy pose. If you're sitting down, you can also participate in this exercise. You don't really need to be seated. Yeah. All right, so this exercise is called Making It Rain, and the reason I like this exercise is because the first time I did it, I was kind of like weirded out by it, but then when we started doing it, I really got into it. It was kind of cool, and I really liked it, so I just always like to do it now. So I'm gonna teach how to do it. So first,
my favorite exercise that we're about to do next is sun salutes. I like it because I feel like the energy just courses all throughout my body. So, if you mind, we can start.
Thank you. And that probably woke you up for my exercise. So my favorite pose is crane or crow. And it's my favorite because it really challenges me mentally and physically because you have to hold it, find a focal point. So we're going to try it.
So my favorite pose is wheel, which most people don't like, but it's my favorite one because it's different. You don't do it all the time. It gives you a good stretch, and it's fun.
Oh, okay. You guys can sit in easy pose for mine. My favorite exercise is called I am breath. So in class, this is my favorite exercise because I don't really express myself to people. So when we do I am breath, I like say it to myself. So when we inhale, we say I. When we exhale, we say am, and I like say what I am to myself in a way. So this is why this is my favorite exercise. So we're about to do this together. Inhale, I. Exhale, am. 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 You feel the energy in the room? 2 more times. Inhale, I. Exhale, am. Make this one special. Inhale, I. Exhale, am. Thank you, everybody.
I feel strange coming back up here because they're the best teachers. So, we're done with that portion. So if you, I mean, this is kind of lovely having you all sit here, but if you would like to go back to your seats, you may do so. And if you want to stay here, then you can stay here, I guess. I'm going to talk a little bit about, I guess, my role in teaching teens. From the perspective of a classroom teacher. So I started off as a classroom teacher, just sort of thinking like that it was very difficult to teach minds that were not ready to learn for whatever reason. You know, there's trauma that has been experienced. There's simply, I had a really crappy morning and I'm rushing myself to school and I'm thinking about the millions of things that I was thinking about before, and now how am I supposed to turn that off and turn on learning? And basically that piece is, well, we need some type of tool. And the tool was mindfulness and yoga, and bringing that to teens. But the yoga that we do as adults is not always accessible for teenagers, as I see every time I try to do a Sun Salute B with tired teenagers. So the way that I from the training, you know, learned is that you have to make things accessible. You have to make things relevant to their lives. And you have to provide an opportunity for challenges and an opportunity for growing together and learning compassion and empathy and all of those social emotional learning. Where are those people? Did they leave? The social emotional learning things that we are teaching, whether we're classroom teachers, or we should be teaching, whether we're classroom teachers or yoga teachers or parents, for that matter. So some of the things that I like to do is just have a balance of being quiet and being introspective and connecting to ourselves, and then having students connect to each other, doing group poses, doing partner poses, doing team building, sharing stories, throwing things into the fire and letting everybody else know what we're holding on to that we no longer want. It can be a really powerful experience, knowing that, oh, someone else is carrying around some hatred today, and so am I, and that's okay. So, I mean, I think even as you see what their favorite things are, you know, from a very quiet and introspective Eveld, you know, he likes that I am breath, and then we've got, you know, we play Sun Salute tag in class for 45 minutes because nobody wants to stop the game. So the balance of that is important for me to keep them excited. I could tell stories about all of you guys. So I think Cody, you know, he's not lying when he says, you know, he wasn't really into it at first. And then I think it was the moment that we did crane pose that he was like, oh, all right, I can do this and I can do it better than anyone else. So I'm hooked on, you know, yoga. And Pachendi, who at first did not want to take the class because he did not want to stay after school, came one day because he was just hanging out after school and we were doing partner poses. And we created competitions, and then after class he was like, can I take the class? Can I stay in the class? And I was like, go ask your guidance counselor. If she says it's okay, it's okay. So now, you know, he's in the class, and I think that was the thing that sort of got him rethinking about why he would want to join the class again. So we're going to show you one of those. Well, I guess if you're still sitting, you can. Should we do the whole ship to shore, everything? We're doing it all. So whenever we do partner poses, I don't like to just say pick a partner, because then you go to the person that you're most comfortable with, and then if there's one person left over that's not picked, the picking thing can become a whole another issue in and of itself. So we play a little game that mixes the kids up, and then you don't know who you're going to necessarily be with. So it's called Ship to Shore. Over there we have the ship with all these wonderful people. And over here we have the shore, and anyone who wants to participate, you are just going to be swimming in the ocean from the ship to the shore. I will tell you where to go, and then you are going to have to find some boat mates, and I'm going to tell you how many people are going to go into a boat, and you are going to have to hook arms back to back with however many people need to be in the boat in order for you to survive the ocean. Okay? So stand up if you want to play. We'll do it a couple times. Yeah, you guys can go down, I guess. Okay, so the ship is over here. The shore is this way. So everyone move to the ship. To the shore. Oh, back to the ship. To the shore. 3 in a boat. Back to back. Ah. Okay, what are we doing? Okay, are there some people out who aren't in a group of 3? This is what we say. It's okay. We still love you anyway. So you don't have to worry about being out. Okay, so you can break up again, and we're going to go to the shore this time. Walk to the shore, and then back to the ship, and then to the shore, and then to the ship. 2 in a boat. 2 in a boat. You can do a little math with this too. You can talk about how many people are in the room and whether we have partners, odd or even numbers. Okay, so we must have an even number of people and a number that's not divisible by 3 because, yeah. All right, so now what you are going to do is have a seat with your partner. You can unlink arms. You are going to sit back to back with your partner. Sometimes we'll do a little partner breathing here, but for today we're just going to keep it fun. So you can uncross your legs and bring your feet onto the floor. And you are going to now link arms, good guys, back to back with your partner. And yes, we'll have them demonstrate. So the goal, without putting your hands on the ground, you're going to see if you and your partner can get yourselves up. Go ahead. Okay, now you guys can try. Bring yourselves up. Bring yourselves up. And there's always some people that, sort of have to use their hands or whatever, but we're always laughing, so it really doesn't matter. And then we talk a little bit about what the trick is here. So what's the trick to getting up? Yeah, you have to push together. You have to work with your partner. If one person is overpowering the other person, you're not going to be able to get up. So you have to push. You have to be equal partners in this. So usually try it again. And then more people get it. And then the last time, they're so good at it that we inevitably have to see who's the best at it. And so we turn this into a competition. And so you go back with your partners, and we are going to do this now because it's fun. So go back with your partners if you want to join the competition. If you don't want to be in the competition, you do not have to. But we're going to see who can do this the fastest. So by now you've already practiced twice. And I'm a terrible judge. So I'm just going to put that out there. I will do my best to see who gets up fastest. It's going to be a 1, 2, 3, go. All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. These guys, they took a little head start. They went before I said go, but that's okay. That's okay. And the prize for the teenagers who ask, what do I get? You get a big round of applause. You get a big round of applause. Oh, and then sometimes we challenge each other to see how big of a group we can get to stand up. So we can just, whoever wants to do this, we'll get down. We'll see. I think the goal, what's the goal? It's 7. Yeah, the teenagers all want to do it, of course. Okay, if you guys want to talk strategy or what have you. And sometimes it's a big old mess, but it doesn't matter because we're laughing. We'll try one more time. This could take a whole class period because they don't want to stop. All right. We get a round of applause anyway. Awesome. Okay. All right. I'm done with my part. So now we're gonna. Sorry. Q&A. Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry. So that would be, you know, one of those upbeat sort of fun classes, and you just, you know, if they're way into the competition, then you do another competition and you see where that sort of takes you. And sort of, you know, you have to read the class and read the kids that are in the class and feed off of their energy. So then another piece, I guess, about making it relevant to the students that I like to do a few times every year is build a class around what they come into the room with. So you guys can hand out the cards. So asking students when they come into the room to write down 2 different emotions that they're feeling at the moment. So if you are getting a card right now and want to participate, you are going to channel your inner teenager and write down 2 different words that describe how you feel. You may not write that you are tired or hungry, because those are not really emotions. So dig deep. And then we build the class around what you bring. And these guys are going to do it for you. But just in general, you know, we talk about, oh, someone's feeling sad. What do our bodies look like when we're sad? You know, we're sort of hunched over. You know, we hold things in. So what's the opposite of that? You know, to get them to start thinking about how they can work around what they're feeling. So they wake up in the morning and they take a second to check in, and they realize that they're actually feeling pretty anxious about something. So their first thought is, you know, let me get to a child's pose ASAP, or vice versa. So we have that discussion so that they can bring it out into their lives. So we'll collect like a couple. Yeah. We can't do everyone, unfortunately. Yeah. Tired and hungry, which is why I say we can't use them. Sleepy, exhausted, depressed, sad, anxious, stressed, overwhelmed, lonely, afraid. We just did this one in class. What were some other things? Frustrated, exhausted. Final relaxation. That always comes up. So yeah, so we'll read some out, and then you guys.
Lonely and scared. All right. What I would advise for lonely, do a partner pose, because you know everybody needs a partner in their life, you know. And scared, if you're scared, I would believe I would advise child's pose, because you know you just go into your safe haven and just think to yourself.
Overwhelmed. When you feel overwhelmed, you're probably like emotional. So I advise child's pose also. Anytime you're feeling sad, maybe angry, anytime you're feeling like emotional, really, I feel like you should do child's pose. Does anybody have recommendations for overwhelm? Like any poses, actually? That's a good one. To be honest. I like that one. Warrior 3. Warrior 3.
We do. Here, you guys pick the best.
Inspired and excited. So I'll do the rain, making it rain, because that makes everybody like hyped up, and a sun salute.
Open. I would do bow. Any other suggestions?
Inadequate and stressed. Ooh, that's a good one. Anybody has a suggestion for that? Warrior. That's a good one. Yeah, that's true. Warrior 1, 2, 3. Any one of those will help. Overwhelmed and confused. I do a balance pose for that. I mean, you can kind of like find a composure, focus on something so that you're not worried about something else. Like just focus on one thing so that you're not overwhelmed. That's true. All of them are the same. Everybody's so anxious. Head achy and what? Engaged? I don't know about that one. Like, if you got a headache, take an aspirin or something.
So, uh-huh. Yeah, so mhm. Yeah. There's a lot of building. This year, I think I did it a little earlier than usual because they all have taken the class before. But I guess I wouldn't do this until it's safe. It's safe enough to do. And that, and even now, you know, we did it a couple days ago in class, and they were like, do we have to write our names? Are you going to read these? I said, you don't have to write your name. And if you give it back to me, I'll read it. But I read them all to acknowledge what everybody wrote, even if it's the same thing as someone else wrote, exactly the same. I still read it. And then, yeah, just like they're doing, asking you for feedback. And then I literally just write down all of the things that they say. And then I make up a class based on everything that's written down. Yeah. Oh, thought that was another question. Yeah. Yeah, so it's question time. So we're going to open it up to you guys if you have questions for a specific, sure, we can sit, for a specific student, or someone's going to take that question. Oh, so okay, yeah.
All right. So sun salute tag, when we get in class, Miss Lepowski tells us like what number the previous class got up to. So we do sun salutes, and we tag a person, and they go up and lead a sun salute, and we just go around until we don't want to do it no more. But usually we just keep on going so we can set a high record and not make nobody else beat our number. So that's sun salute tag. You go walk to the mat and you touch them on the shoulder, and then they go to like the main mat in the middle, and they just lead it, and they lead. Nah. Except you don't know who the person's gonna pick. So if you went and you tag somebody, they could come and tag you again until somebody said sun salute over. Yes.
Yeah, this year definitely a lot of people question me like, oh, you could get out at fifth period. Why wait till seventh period and take yoga? I said, because it's helpful. Like, it's really is a part of my life, and it changes, and it's like fixes a lot of things about me, and I feel like it helps me better myself in a sense.
I think I was there for that conversation too. Yeah, it just really helps. Like through the day, we go through the hallway, and it's a small hallway. We get pushed around. Sometimes teachers give us attitude. We give them one back. So it's just a good way to calm yourself down at the end of the day.
I used to think getting out early used to be fun or whatever, but it's really not. It's just really boring, and like everybody just goes out and does their own thing. But like when I had stayed for seventh period, I was around, my friends and just like in a safe area, and I was having fun while doing yoga. So like it kept me busy. 'Cause if I wasn't busy, I don't know what I was doing with my life.
I have a question. Can you provide a little bit of context about like what Bent on Learning does and how your school has a full period of yoga that kids can sign up for? Because that's amazing.
You talk about what Bent on Learning does, and then I'll pick you up.
So Bent on Learning, we're an organization, and we provide yoga in schools, and it's usually one period a week when we send our teachers into the schools to work with our school partners. Marissa works for a school that is a charter school, so that I think there's a little bit more flexibility. And she went through our training, and with that training was able to work within her own school to convince the school that that a priority should be yoga. So now these kids are getting yoga every day, which I think is really amazing, and I think an anomaly among some yoga in schools programs. We're usually 1 to 2 times a week. And we find that schools want it more, but it can be really hard to find time in the schedule, and then sometimes just the funding to do it. So we have schools asking for it. We're in about 15 schools in New York right now, and through our training, we're able to kind of spread it a little bit broader.
And I'm not gonna lie, I just got really lucky. Like, at that moment in time when I was taking the training, the PE teacher at our school was a little bit overwhelmed because she had a lot on her plate, and so I just suggested, why don't I take a little bit off of your plate, and we can make the mindful movement class sort of to work with the PE, So it just sort of slid into the schedule, and the kids in our school would have PE every day, which again is something that doesn't happen often. So even in another school, they might only be getting PE once a week as well, so balancing that. But I can't lie. I really just got lucky that I'm able to bring it to the kids, and then, their training gave me the tools to bring it as well. Does someone else already have a microphone? Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Janine. I'm actually also a yoga teacher working with kids and teens in New York City. So
Yay.
nice to meet you guys.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm going to talk to you more later. But my question's actually right now. So you're all seniors. So I was curious, kind of what's next, and if you think about, I'm going to keep doing yoga, like I'm going to go to yoga class, like kind of what do you think about once you're done with this class in your school? I know some of you already said you're going to, kind of do this at home. You don't need a class to do yoga. So kind of curious what that looks like when you think about it. And then also, I just noticed there's a lot of young men up here doing yoga, which I think is awesome. And there's a lot of women in this room. And I was just curious kind of how, around the school, sort of what's the vibe? Is yoga seen as something girls do more than guys? What's up with that? Because I think it's cool that we got a different gender ratio up here.
I don't really think that it's like a feminine thing in our school, really, because honestly, we're kind of like the leaders of our school, really, and we just tell them exactly what we do in yoga and how it helps us, and they think maybe I might do it, maybe I might not, except we'll always nag them and tell them come on, just try it one time. So yeah.
I like to add on what he says. When people be like, "Oh, I don't want yoga," why I want gym. Gym is better, but I find yoga better than gym a little bit, cause in gym you just like run around the gym, play a sport, and after that you get changed and go back. But in yoga, you go in a classroom, you have relationships with your teacher and your students. You do yoga moves that also get you sweatier sometimes, and it like challenges your body also.
Also, adding on to what they said, our school is very like family based, so that has never come up about yoga being a girl thing at all. Mostly the guys just say, "Oh no, I want gym," because you know they like sports and all of that. But that has never come up at all. And about yoga, like staying in my life, it would be something that I would do at home. Sometimes I just do it with my cousins and my little sister. We just do it on our own time.
Also, when I graduate, I'm still gonna be doing yoga in my room, and I'm gonna come back to Northside, help Miss Lepowski in the classroom. You already know.
And then another thing is that if you have like guys at your school saying that it's a feminine thing, what I call it is extreme sun salute, except I heard that it's sun salute B. Have them try that and make them hold the poses for a longer breath.
It can get physical sometimes.
To add on to what they said, especially the guys in our school who play sports, like the manly ones who think they just all that or whatever, they at first they didn't really think of yoga as anything, but as soon as they started taking it, that's when their mindset started to change, because the breathing exercises actually really helped them throughout their games, actually before games. It really helps him too. So they're at first they might be spectacle, but like as soon as they start taking class, they really start to see the benefits of it.
And I feel like it's something that we emphasize in our training and our program as well, is really just make it relevant to teens. So if you have a boy who's not interested, I feel like saying, you know, the New York Knicks and LeBron and all these guys are doing yoga, and really showing the benefits beyond what the stereotypes are. I think it's changing, and I think that the more you can bring sports and pop culture and things that teens care about, I think they relate to it much more. So that's one of our best practices, and definitely something we talk about a lot.
Hi. I have a question for all of you as well. I'm a yoga mindfulness teacher in Philadelphia, and I work with youth. And I'm really inspired by what the kids have done for me in my life. And my question for you is, now that the program's been so successful for you, would you be willing to mentor or teach younger children coming up in grade as a club organization?
That's going to be their midterm. Don't spoil it. That's like, well, I guess you guys can answer the question, but I got excited. We are in a K through 12 building, but we are only the high school. And now that this is the second round, for their final 2 years ago, they taught each other classes, and now they're good enough that they can teach others. So they're gonna plan like a little kids class and do that, and then hopefully get a lot of just be the leaders in that. Okay.
Hi, this question is for the young lady and the third gentleman in. The two of you both expressed that when you first were enrolled, it seemed like it was not by choice, and you didn't like it, and you had some resistance. So what can you tell all of us in the room who are the leaders of yoga in a class, in a school setting? What changed for you? What did the mentors do that made you feel more welcome, or what was it in you that kind of clicked or turned and became more open to it?
Well, I have grown up in a Christian household, so I was told that yoga is very spiritual and channeling spirits and all of that. So I was just kind of closed-minded to the idea of taking yoga completely, because I thought, I was like, no, I can't be doing that. I'm going to be talking to spirits. But Miss Lepowski talked to me, and she was like, no, this is not about that. It's just about being mindful and focusing on yourself and centering yourself. So I gave it a chance, and it turned out for the better. So I'm actually really grateful that she told me that. And I wasn't allowed to transfer the class, because I wouldn't be in it today, to be honest.
Yeah, like to add on to what Kayla said, it's like we really just thought that, oh, it's with spirits, oh, you gotta put your leg over your head, and it's not really about that. And then another thing that you can have the kids do, well, the teenagers, is the first week of school, like the first week of yoga, there's always gonna be a good 5, 10 people. Like, oh, I can't move my back like that, oh, I can't go in this position. Except they thought that yoga was easy. I thought you didn't want to have it.
Hi. I'm curious if you use music in your classes and what your final relaxation time looks like.
I've tried using music, and it's really distracting. So I don't use any music. And every year I'm like, I should use music. Like, I think that that's something that's going to make the class better. And every time I try it, it's just really distracting. Final relaxation takes place at the end and sometimes the beginning of class, especially during like midterms week, Regents week. You know, I know that that's just what they need. And the lights get shut off. I mean, I guess if this is what you're asking, the lights get shut off. The kids relax into it, and usually I will lead them through either a body scan, tense and release, guided visualization, or sometimes I'm just quiet. And then I have a little essential oil spritz, and when that doesn't come around, it's like, where's the spritz? That they get a little spritz on their feet, and then, you know, just sort of a normal, and it's they enjoy that time, so it's never really a problem. I mean, sometimes it's a little chatty, and I'll do like, I'm gonna count down from 5, and when I get to needs to be quiet, and then if it's not, it's just sort of like, this is your time, like this is for you. Don't waste these 5 minutes that nobody else gets. Like, even I don't get 5 minutes to myself. I'm giving you 5 minutes for yourself, and that's awesome. So like, enjoy it, and it, you know, it always reaches a place of serenity in the room, and then I'm like, sorry guys, it's time to go to Latin.
Okay, thank you. You guys have all mentioned how the breathing has helped you so much, and I was wondering if there are specific breathing techniques that you've learned and which are your favorites, or if it was just the concept of breath.
Like I do with you guys, my favorite is I am breath. I explained it, but I'm gonna say it again. It's cause like I don't show my emotions a lot, but when I say I am breath, I say my emotions to myself, and that sometimes I say something that I didn't really know that I had. Like, sometimes I didn't know I was this day, sometimes I didn't know I was that. So it's like being one with yourself and knowing what yourself wants and knowing what you like, what emotions you feel.
My favorite breath is the one that the 1, 2, 3. What is it called? 3-part breath. You inhale and say and count in your head 1, 2, 3. Hold for 1, 2, 3, and exhale 1, 2, 3. And you do that a couple times, and it just really calms me down. So it's really helpful. It's one of my favorite ones.
That's like my top favorite, but the second one is finger breathing.
Sometimes you just make up names and you don't have anything.
So basically, we start from the thumb, go to the top of your finger, inhale, exhale, and then inhale, and then exhale when you get to the bottom. Except it's really about how fast you're going. So
3-part breath is also my favorite because that's the same exact breath that I used during that game, and look, we won.
There's another breathing technique. I don't remember the name. Alternative nostril breathing. Yeah, I don't know it. You breathe in one nostril, breathe out. Yeah, that one. That's the one. I mean, it was weird at first, but I started liking it. Oh, so I guess this is the end. So we're gonna end with gratitude. So everybody, take your hands, place them over your heart. You're gonna breathe in something grateful.
Yeah, I'm at the back collecting evaluation forms.